So in the dev server, we have a bunch of new weapons for aircraft that I wanted to show to you guys. Some for new aircraft, some for old aircraft, but in general, it's for new aircraft, I gotta say. But let's today take a look on all the most important ones, all the ones that I can think about, and show to you guys the abilities that they have, okay? So we start off with the new Maverick that was added for the F-18s, the AGM-65F. This is a new variant of the Maverick, and it is very similar to the ones that we already have in the game, okay? The major thing in here is that it is IR guided, of course, so it is thermal, right? And of course, it is using the same armor-piercing HE shell, or warhead, right? So it's very, very similar to other ones that we have. The F-18 can also use the E variant, which is a laser-guided one, but this is basically the Navy's G variant, kind of, right? So, yeah, the Maverick is here with its stats, so let's test the missile. So, like I said, this missile, basically, it's like a G. The G and the F, they come from the D variant, right? So, it is basically the evolution of that. And they have a very good range. Of course, the way that you use them is very similar to other missiles. You basically just point to the target, you click the button to get a lock, and they are fire and forget with a thermal imaging system. Let me point the nose down a little bit. And there you go, right? And it is fire and forget and guided by the infrared signatures of the tank, which is pretty cool, right? This is the first one. The second one is another one for the F-18s. In this case, it is for the A and C early models, especially, but yeah, it's a general upgrade for the AGM-62. This is the Walleye II ERDL. So basically, this is an upgrade that extends the range of the bomb together with having a data link so that you can actually have a fire and forget situation, but also beyond visual range kind of fire and forget weapon, right? How it is working right now, it is just a normal TV guided bomb. It has 600, almost 600 TNT equivalent of kilograms, so it's pretty significant if you ask me. And let's test this bomb. So like I said, this bomb is, I don't think it's ready because it's supposed to have kind of a data link to the aircraft. I don't know how exactly that would work, if you can change the target or whatever, but it is the most advanced, you know, AGM-62 that we have in the game. So I wonder if it's going to be upgraded in the future or not. But yeah, let's try to use it. So the way that you use is basically the same as the other bombs. So you basically point to the target, you get a lock, and the bomb will be released. Of course, it doesn't have its own propulsion, and it is TV guided. So no IR guidance, but it is TV guided. It has a very good range, and yeah, it can go very far and destroy a substantial amount of targets, and look at the amount of explosion we have there. So it is a pretty good bomb. It is very large though, but yeah, a very, very interesting thing to use in the Hornet. Another bomb that came in this update is the GBU-32. Yes, this bomb actually didn't, it wasn't in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check one or the other aircraft, but I'm pretty sure it never got added. It's basically a normal JDAM, as you see, but using a Mark 83 bomb. So we had the GBU-38 and the GBU-31. They were for the 500-pound Mark 82, and then the 2,000-pound Mark 84. And this is the GBU-32. It's the normal one for the Mark 83 bomb. So you can see right there, and it's a pretty normal GPS-guided bomb. Another aircraft that takes this bomb is the new Tornado as well. If you go here, you can see that we have the 38, which is the 500-pound. Then we have the 32, which is the 1,000-pound, which is pretty cool. Of course, this aircraft also carries the 54B, which is basically the 500-pound GPS guided, but with laser guidance. So there's not really a reason to use this one, but still, it is pretty interesting because it is a Mark 83. So you can see the bomb. It is just a normal JDAM. You don't even need to use a pod to guide these bombs. you can basically just choose a point here, or you can you know, use a pod if you have one, or you can use the map as well. So for example, I want to drop in this target, for example. I can just kind of have an idea where the target is. Of course, I can do some financing over here. With the pod would be a little bit easier, but it doesn't matter. It's a guided bomb. Once you drop it, it will guide itself to that point. Of course, it doesn't work against moving targets unless you are very good with your aim. And yeah, a Mark 83 that it is GPS guided, something that weirdly we didn't have yet in the game. So yeah, I think the only two aircraft that use these are the Tornado IDS Ret 8 and the F-18s. Then we go for some air-to-air missiles. We have here a missile that I already talked about, the AIM-7B. This missile is basically the evolution of the AIM-7M. It has basically the same flight performance. The main difference here is that it has a receiver of data link signals from the aircraft inside the missile. So which means that it is basically a semi-active radar homing missile, but it does have a data link to the aircraft, okay? It has basically the same stats as the AIM-7Ms. The way that this missile will work is pretty much the same as we already know from Sparrows, right? But the main thing is that it will be much more reliable. It means that if it breaks the lock, it will have a much better system of maintaining where the aircraft should be going. It should be less susceptible to flares or chaff. And of course, like I said, the missile being more reliable, you can also increase the range out of it because you don't have the 40 to 50 kilometer max seeker range limit of the aircraft, of the missile seeker, right? So let's see if the radar can actually get a proper lock over here. And let's fire the missile. So see, for example, here, I don't have the seeker information, doesn't have the information for the missile, right? But the missile is receiving information from the mothership aircraft. So you see, it's not a red circle around the target. So the seeker doesn't have the signal from the enemy's aircraft, right? Because the seeker is blinded to it because of the notch that he's doing right here, right? But the mothership aircraft will try to do enough so that it can have a chance of actually detecting the target. Of course, the seeker still needs to find the target with the radiation bouncing back. So it's not only with the data link and the general position of the target that the missile will do a hit, but you get the idea of how, you know, more reliable this can be. Of course, this now will have a little bit more of the signal return, and now it can actually just act as a normal AIM-7. So the objective is to use the data link until it gets there, okay? It missed because it's a Sparrow. That was underwhelming, I gotta say. I'm saying how good this missile is, and then he just misses completely because he got pulled by the angle of the target. Yeah, there we go. Finally, right? I mean. And then we have the R77-1, guys. This missile is pretty much the normal R77 that we already love, but, or hate. Depends on who you are, right? But the missile will have a different engine to have more energy. It is on par with the AIM-120 in range, okay? So it is much better than the original R77, and it will still retain the same levels of turning capability that the normal R77 has. So for sure, one of the best radar missiles in the game, and it's only coming for the Su-30 for now. So, of course, it's a missile that is fire and forget, kinda, of course. These missiles do love to have the TWS soft lock. But yeah, they will have a better burning and a better energy retention, basically, because of that. Not energy retention, but the energy overall of the missile is way better, okay? Which means that it will have a lot more chances of dealing with targets that are far away from you. But at the same time, of course, it will still have the ability of turning very well, right? Let's see if this one gets the target. I don't think it will. Doesn't have the energy. Let me try this one. Again. And yeah, it's just an R77 that can do more range. It has more burn time and a stronger engine, basically. That's the main difference. Of course, changes the weight and everything, but you get the idea. Of course, with the Su-30, you can carry 12 of them, so yeah. It can be kind of scary. The next one is a missile that I talked about today. It is the PL-8B, the new version of the PL-8 or the Python 3 produced in China. It is very much like the same missile, but with a different seeker. It will have a little bit better of a range and everything, but the main thing is that it has IRCCM. It means that it will ignore the flares completely, almost, compared to the older Python 3s. It has pretty much the same IRCCM as the R73, so it's an amazing, it's basically an amazing missile, and it can, you know, deny a lot of the flares. I mean, just ignore the flares and get the target very easily. And he has a lot of energy, so one of the best missiles, IR missiles in the game for sure. Then we have some weapons that are hidden basically for now, and we don't know if it's actually going to come. For the J11, for example, we have two missiles that are in the files but are not added yet. One of them is the PL-10, which is very similar to the IDST or a missile like that. It is a very modern missile that I don't think it will be added right now. It would be one of the best missiles in the game, if not the best missile in the game. So we probably will have to wait to have that missile added to the J11. But also the PL-17, which is an incredible version of basically the PL-15, kind of. So these missiles, they are basically just the evolution of the PL-12, a new radar missile that would be probably one of the best, if not the best, radar missile in the game. It's basically going to outrange everything that we have in the game right now, because it's basically a next generation of missile, right? So I doubt that we will see that missile for now as well, but it is in the files with a name for a loadout, okay? And the last one, it is the spice bombs as well. The spice bombs are in the files as well, like I said, with models and everything, and it is basically an Israeli TV or GPS guided ammunition, right? It can come for many vehicles, and it is not added yet to the game, but it is in the files, and I have a feeling that they will add for some of these vehicles in the higher tiers in the future. So a new bomb for Israel. And that's pretty much it, guys. All of the bombs and missiles that are new for War Thunder in the dev server. Of course, you should wait some newer ones even when the patch comes out. But of course, these are the ones that we have the dev server right now. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys. See ya.